evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Stevie Ray's Comedy Cabaret for tonight's stand-up showcase. Please put your hands together for your host tonight, Mr. Kris N.
Hey guys, oh my God, what a great crowd. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Geez, thank you. We know you could have stayed home and just watched Netflix in your underwear, so we appreciate it. Give yourselves a big hand for coming out and seeing live comedy. My name's Kris N. I'll be your host for the evening. We've got a great lineup of some new comedians. Some have never done this before. So we're going to be all supportive, right? We're going to have fun. I'll tell you a little bit about me. As you can see, I'm a tall, skinny bastard. I used to be. Skinny. When I was a kid, I was really skinny. The other kids called me Bones. Yeah, that was my nickname, Bones. Halloween was easy. My mom just sent me out naked as a little skeleton boy. Got a lot of candy that way. People trying to fatten me up, you know. One year I wised up, I went out with that UNICEF donations box, made a fortune. People thought I was one of the starving young kids and paid for college. Anyway, I am from the Sierra Nevada mountains, very isolated rural area up there, you know, which was kind of tough on my sister. She had no other little girls to play with, so me being a good brother, I played Barbies with her, you know. Unfortunately, this kind of scarred me. Playing with Barbie, I naturally assumed she was anatomically correct. And you can imagine my shock when I saw my first woman naked last night. You know, things have been slow. I had my first real girlfriend in college, and she was also naive. Unfortunately, she had a Ken doll. Ken was anatomically correct, so we didn't know what the hell to do with each other. Ended up dressing each other in different outfits all night. What else is going on? Things are going great for me recently. This happened to me the other day. I was downtown Minneapolis walking around, and a homeless guy came up to me, not to ask for any money, but to point out that we were wearing the exact same shirt. Yeah, so things are looking up for me. Apparently I'm this close to being a homeless guy. Got the wardrobe down. Now all I need is a shopping cart full of stolen cans and bottles, a stray dog named Bingo, and a sign that says, "We'll tell jokes for food." What's going on? I had kind of an embarrassing road rage incident the other day. I don't know if you guys have had these. Pull up to a light, you know, and it was a red light. Guy pulled up behind me, light turns green, immediately he's on the horn, honk, honk, you know, it doesn't give you like a split second. I wasn't like on my phone doing anything, you know, and I was like, oh, come on, man. And then he like whips around me, like, oh, this guy's gonna get it, you know. So I'm about to just, you know, really give it to him, you know, flip them off. And then I see it's a big white church van with a bunch of kids in the back. But I was in like mid-flight. I didn't know what to do, you know? So I angrily blew him a kiss, just like, take that, you God lover, you know? Take that, you pious bastard. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. The kids are looking at me like I'm possessed by some demon. It was embarrassing. What else is going on? It's been a rough couple weeks. I had a friend asked me to help him move. You guys ever been roped into the 7th level of hell? Apparently he has, sir. Yes. Just the other day. Yeah, you've done this. I can tell you're a big burly guy, but it's a nightmare, isn't it? My God. His friend asked me, it's like, oh yeah, it's just a few boxes, couple of chairs. Yeah, they'll be out of there in 45 minutes, sure. And you get there, you realize you should have been on an episode of Hoarders, you know? Got like 100 boxes, sectional sofa, big screen TV, refrigerator, solid gold piano, you know? It's crazy. Plus, you know, he was on like the 3rd floor, no elevator, walking up and down. It was, you know, it was cold, but I was so exhausted, hot, and sweaty when I got home. It was horrible. I did learn one thing though. I learned what age do you have to get to when you want to put one of those chairs in the shower? 59 apparently is the answer. And then, Jesus, I gotta sit down. This water is heavy. Stop beating on me. Anyway, all right, let's get this show going. You folks ready to have fun? She's all the way from Chanhassen. She puts the ah in ADD. Please welcome Ellie Harstad. Ellie.
For ADD. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo! Can you imagine if like you did that when you were having a normal conversation and someone's like, how are you doing? You're like, woo! Or if the other way around, you go, how are you doing? Into the entire audience, and then they go, we're doing fine. How are you? Terrifying. Well, my name is Ellie Harstad. A few things about me. I consider myself a 28-year-old grandma. Why? That's a great question. I have a pacemaker. And it's not because, like, of anything terrible. I was dying, but now I'm not. I'm fixed. I'm now bionic. And I get these lovely little pamphlets in the mail that say, like, you can be young again. And it's old people walking through gardens. And in case you're curious, I use a great moisturizer, but I'm not 62. 28. I'm 28 years old. I've had over 35 different jobs in my life. I just can't settle down. Yeah. One of the jobs that I had for a while was pooping for money. That's not even a joke. I fully did that. You got $20 a dump, and I was a college kid, and I needed the money. I told these people because it was for medical reasons. It wasn't just because of some. Well, I guess it was. Some people have that kink, but we're not going there today. But I fully told them. I said, hey, you know what? I could design shirts for you guys. And they're like, oh, for our medical poop like donations? And we're like, yeah. The front could say, I poop for money. And on the back it could say, I'm not shitting you. But one of the jobs that I just recently got was at the Wabasha Street Caves. Anyone familiar? Yeah. That place is haunted as hell. And that was part of my interview. They're like, how do you feel about ghosts? And I'm like, I'm fine with ghosts, I guess. Didn't really believe in them. And they said, well, we have about 40 to 60 ghosts here. And for about 4 to 6 months, I didn't see any. And then I heard one. I was walking through the caves, cleaning up, and I was the only one there. And I thought, you know, if ghosts exist, they probably like jazz. So I'm walking through the caves singing, I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, don't ask me. And then I forgot the words, and I got really quiet. Because, yeah, oh no is right. Yeah, because I'm over picking up like one of our pictures, and from behind me I hear, don't go. Exactly. Yeah, now here's the deal. If there was anyone else in the caves other than the one person I knew that was working in the office, I would have been like, hello? Who? No. So I froze. And I did what most respectful people did when they don't want to engage with another person because they're an introvert. I froze and I went, I'm working, and I ran. Now I did say that I'm like allergic to commitment, but I actually do have a lovely husband. We have been together for almost 2 years, married, 5 years all together. Anyone know what the 2-year anniversary is? Like that, like the little gift? No, first year's paper, which luckily I think, you know, that was kind of like a safety net for people who wanted to give divorce papers the first year. It was like, I didn't get those. I got origami papers. Second year is cotton, and I haven't gotten him anything yet. So, but I still have like a little bit of time. He is my first husband. He's my only husband. I like to say first because I like to keep him on his toes. He's also my first boyfriend. Yeah, I know, right? You're looking at this. You're like, what? First? Correct. Not for lack of effort on my part. No, in high school, I had a crush on this guy and really liked him. And he had his first kiss in my car. Not with me. While I was driving. I was so tempted to just kind of... But I didn't. I held out hope for college. College, no luck. My senior year, I really liked this guy. And I was at a Christian school. So I did the Christian thing and I said, hey, I think me and you would work really well together. Do you want to go grab coffee and talk? And he said, oh, I can't. I'm busy that day. For those of you who pay attention, I didn't say a day. Yeah, all me. No, I got a hottie for a husband. He did have a few relationships before me, including one of the former Miss Minnesotans. Ooh, he sized up a little bit. Just saying. No, he upgraded. I'm awesome. But I never actually, like, he had a few other relationships before I did, and I never had to deal with, like, the heartbreak of breaking up with someone. And I feel like I kind of missed out on something there, except for, you know, I have a few things that I can relate to breakups, even though it wasn't with a person. And I imagine it would have gone a little something like this. Listen, it's been a great 3 years. I mean, it was great. At the beginning, we worked out really well together, but I just feel like you're a problem. I feel like you just keep failing me, and you just don't have the bandwidth for me anymore. And I don't understand, but I just keep calling you out on your stuff, and you fix it for a while, but then you just keep going back to you're just not worth it for me anymore. And I think I found something better, Mediacom. I found Verizon, and Verizon now offers Wi-Fi, and it's way cheaper, and it's way more dependable, and they answer the phone when I call, and they give me the attention I deserve. Listen, it's hard. It's not me, it's you. I know you might want to talk about it sometime. Yeah, we could grab coffee, but I'm busy that day. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep it going. Come on. Our next comedian comes to you from Minneapolis. You might recognize her from local Goodwill commercials. Please give a big hand to Amy Wallace.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm the youngest of 4 girls, which means that, yes, I am here for the attention. And no, I do not have any applicable life skills. I can't mow the lawn, but I can make a matcha latte. In my world, they're basically the same thing. They're both green, and I'm never going to own a house anyway. Coming from a large family is kind of fun. My boyfriend has learned to grow into it, mostly by carrying water guns for all the little children around. I may have fun in my own way. I started this fun Christmas tradition where I ask my family for the creepiest things imaginable, like a brass candlestick for walking around my apartment at night, or old books to summon ghosts that will hopefully help me clean my room, or a framed butterfly because the more corpses in a home, the merrier, or a tiara made of ethically sourced bird bones. Basically, I'm trying to get my family to fund my Morticia Adams lifestyle. My boyfriend really knocked it out of the park last year. He got me a Furby for Christmas, which, if you don't know what a Furby is, it's kind of like if Pizza Rat procreated with a Beanie Baby. They come in this box with their eyes wide open, staring straight into your soul. So once you get the courage to break eye contact and take it out of the box, the whole premise of this toy is that it learns English from whoever is using it. Unfortunately for my boyfriend, I learned Furbish from the Furby. Mate, une! Which means I love you, or at least that's what he thinks. It's part of my hierarchy of creepiest children's toys. Number 1 slot obviously goes to the Slinky. The whole premise of the toy is that it walks downstairs by itself. And everyone's trying to tell me that it's not haunted. Anyway, this is your warning. If you see a Slinky at your local Goodwill, do not pick it up. I think it learned a little too much from the ghosts in the apartment. As you can tell, I kind of like frivolous things. which is why social media companies love me, or at least my disposable income. I recently had to delete TikTok though. I guess parental controls don't really work if you're setting them for yourself. 5 hours a day on the app just wasn't enough for me. But I switched over to Instagram Reels, which, if you don't know, is a much worse product. It's kind of like asking for frosted flakes and getting snowy shapes instead. But, you know, once you get through all the bad stuff, you get to the really good content, and that's the ads. I swear, Mark Zuckerberg knows me like the back of his scaly reptilian hand. My scrolling experience kind of goes like this, you know. Oh, look, it's a salad recipe, wow. But he uses durian fruit. I don't even know what that is. And then it's some woman showing me the potholes on her street, as if I hadn't already hit them all this year. And then it's some 8-year-old kid's birthday party. Though I am stealing the idea of doing karaoke with Spider-Man for my birthday. And then there it is. It's a dog bed that's the size for an adult human. That one's the ad. Add to cart. And you just keep scrolling through all the stuff that makes you feel bad about yourself. The size 2 girls in the skinny jeans and the people at the gym making smoothies, yada, yada, yada. And then there it is. It's an ad for the Oddities Expo, which, as you may have guessed, is my safe space. But there it is, the table right in the front of the ad. A woman selling tiaras made of ethically sourced bird bones. All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Wallace. Thank you, baby. Awesome. Got any cat lovers in the crowd tonight? Cats? I like them. Had a couple growing up. I think there's a big misunderstanding about cats, though. People say they like them because they're such clean animals. Yeah, they're always washing themselves. That's not true. They're always licking themselves, okay? There's a big, big difference between washing yourself and licking yourself, all right? If you see some guy standing on the street corner licking himself, you're not thinking, man, that guy's clean. All I'm saying, there's a big, big difference between cleanliness and autoeroticism. All right, our next comic comes to us from Minnetonka. She is the social media director at Treasure Island Casino, which means she convinces people to gamble away their lives at the casino. Please welcome Lily Smith.
Hi everybody, thank you so much. So something that I think you should know about me is that I went to private school growing up. And if you know anything about private school kids, you know that they're so entitled. I mean, their parents are paying $20,000 for them to get an education that they could get for free around the corner, okay? Which just seems dumb to me, which totally translates over into the kids. The kids are not very smart, they're ignorant, they're tone deaf. They think that the climate crisis is what happens when it drops below 65 degrees on their trip to Bora Bora, which honestly they probably could have actually learned what the climate crisis was had they gone to the free school around the corner. But my private school was very special. It was a Jewish private school, so that meant that the kids were entitled and dumb and ignorant and all of that stuff, but they also had severe digestive issues. Okay, so coming from personal experience, if you're ever in a Jewish affiliated building, just steer clear of all the restrooms and just hold it, especially if you're in a Jewish elementary school, because those kids don't know what the pills that help with the laxatives are, okay? So just stay away from the bathrooms. But something else really cool at my school is that we were taught 2 languages. Of course, English, but not Spanish or French or Chinese or any language that would actually help us throughout our lives. We were taught Hebrew, okay? And so some of the things that I remember from Hebrew are how to say, I want to go to the bathroom, אני רוצה ללכת לשירותים, or how much does that cost, כמה זה עולה. But some of the best things about learning Hebrew is that you know how to call someone's mom a hoe in English and in Hebrew, okay? So you'd be walking down the hallway and someone would insult you, and the first thing that would come to your brain would be, אמא שלו זונה. And honestly, the teachers couldn't even get mad at us because we were using our education in real life situations. It was awesome. I mean, we weren't using the Pythagorean theorem. No, we were using the language of our people, okay? So something about being at a Jewish school is that the kids know each other really, really well, which means they can bully each other a lot better than someone you don't know very well, okay? So when I was in when I was 5, and I was in kindergarten, I was learning my ABCs, and I was learning how to tie my shoes, and learning not to tell the Christian kids that Santa isn't real, okay? But I was also learning a very valuable life experience, and that was what it felt like to be slut-shamed. Okay, so I was in kindergarten, and there was a rumor floating around about me that I had brought a boy into the bathroom and was kissing him, okay? So whatever, like, it was a little difficult to tell people that I didn't do it, but no one wanted to believe me. So all the girls in my grade were really, really judgy, of course. Why wouldn't they be judgy? And I would hear chatter, I would hear them calling me the porta potty prostitute, or the bathroom boinker, or even some of the teachers were calling me the toilet tramp. It wasn't the greatest thing, but at least the boys during recess would ask me if they had to pay extra to get the handicap stall, so that's okay. But as the years went on, I started to really make a name for myself away from all the potty talk, okay? So about 5 years later, when I was in fifth or 4th grade, whatever, I was 9 years old, and I had a crush on a boy, and I really, really liked him. And people already knew a lot about me because we're such a close-knit community that I didn't really mind telling people. I thought it was nice, it was beautiful to share love. And so I really, really loved this boy, Josh, and I wanted to tell the world. He didn't seem to like me back very much. He actually happened to tell the whole school that we were cousins, and that anytime I thought about him, I was committing acts of incest. So as a 9-year-old, I didn't really know what incest meant, so you can imagine I got home that day, and I sat down with my parents for family dinner, and I went, Mommy, Daddy, I heard a new word at school today. What's incest? And you know, they took a minute, they were looking at each other, and they said, well, Lily, when 2 people really love each other, I'm kidding, I do not condone incest. That's the wrong talk, that's the bird and the bees. This is my first stand-up comedy performance, and I just want to publicly say I'm not for incest, and Josh and I were not cousins, okay? But really, I learned two major things at my Jewish private school, and the first is that bullying builds character, okay? That's a fact. I wouldn't be standing up here today had Josh just friend-zoned me. No, he had to cousin-zone me, okay? And that Josh, אמא שלו זונה.
Special guest now. He is an old friend of mine, longtime Minneapolis comedian, has toured all over the country. Please give a big hand to Joe Lovett. Joe!
One more time for Kris and everyone that you've heard so far tonight. You haven't clapped enough, damn it. You have to bear with me, it's been kind of a rough week. I do customer service for MediaCom. Some woman canceled her account, made it really personal. Yeah, got here late. Didn't mean to do that, but I, came here thinking I was going to have to pay to get in. And so I stopped by an ATM because I'm old and I roll that way. And I got stuck behind that one person. And you've all been behind them. If you've ever done that, they're just pushing 1,000 buttons, not a damn thing happens. And this guy turns around and he goes, "You might as well leave. I think it's out of money." I said, "You know what? I'm pretty sure that's not what insufficient funds means. And it's not a slot machine. Your chances of winning don't increase the more you play. Go away." I hope you all made it through the Snowmageddon Lollapalooza again this week. Don't complain about snow around me. I love winter. It's the only thing this state does right. No, I love winter. I love waking up at 5:30 in the morning and getting in my car, and you sit down and your coat rises up and that little bare patch of skin hits the upholstery. You feel alive. I love backing out of my driveway, hitting that hidden patch of ice, turning the wheel, doing that Dukes of Hazzard 360. Hell yeah! It's not all fun and games, I know. Especially, this past winter. You ever get the feeling that Mother Nature lost the remote in the cushions and just can't find it? Every time she switches her weight, things change. She's like, okay, well, damn, why is it sleeting now? But I love winter. But the first snowfall of winter always gets me down because you feel a little bit older, because you don't get around as quickly as you normally do. Your bones creak a little bit more. And I was really depressed this winter when we got that first one. And then I looked outside and I saw my 82-year-old neighbor shoveling snow. And that inspired me. I had to go out and say, "You missed a spot." What the hell am I paying you for anyway? Let's see some ice fly, Hazel, come on. Kris misled you. It's been several years since I've actually done stand-up, and you'll notice that the reaction to my stuff is not as strong as everyone else's because none of you know me. And you don't have to talk to me afterwards and go, "You were really good. You look like you were having a lot of fun up there." I usually work casinos, and which is dangerous stuff because that truly is dangerous because it is tough working anywhere where there is a 50-50 ratio of cigarette smokers and oxygen tanks. We are one successful grandma at a slot machine away from total freaking annihilation. But I love working the casinos because you get free food. And I would do like the casino buffet. You probably know about this. Yeah. But have you been to the ones in Wisconsin? You know what they don't have on the salad bars in Wisconsin? Salad. Honest to God, it's just like these industrial cans of chocolate pudding and Jell-O cubes swimming in whipped cream. I actually pulled a piece of broccoli out, threw it on there. A SWAT team came out of the kitchen, wrestled that sumbitch to the ground. I want to give a little public service announcement, which I like to do whenever I'm in front of a crowd. For those of you who buy used police cars and then drive them around without changing the color scheme on it, knock that shit off. And for those of you who also take off the light bar but replace it with a silver luggage rack, knock that off too. Because Daddy's in a hurry and I do not like decoys. I'm kind of depressed about cars because mine recently got broken into. I blame myself because I removed the theft deterrent, which is actually a black zipper case full of CDs. They didn't even steal anything. They just left a note. This shit's weak, get better shit. We'll be back. I've been married for 37 years. You give a damn, that's nice. Ellie, 2 years. Woo! Joe, 37. Faker. And I feel the marriage getting stronger all the time. My wife recently quit dating black guys, so Asians and Hispanics, it's all yours now. No, I'm married so far above my head I get nosebleeds. I knew that she was a little bit more experienced than I was when we got married on our wedding night. When she undressed and I saw she had a tattoo on her thigh of a ruler. Can we just cuddle? It's like, come on, what's your favorite position? Now, fetal, thank you. Married 37 years. You married? Yeah, how long?
25 come July.
That's darn good. That's darn good. Is your wife? Key to a successful marriage, doing things apart, I guess. Oh, that's great.
She'll be up next.
She'll be up next. Oh, well, hot damn. 25 years. That's great. No. Let's get y'all involved in this. So now, when you buy presents for each other, who am I talking to? Yeah. Do you consult with each other before you buy each other presents? When you buy presents for each other, do you consult with each other before you buy the presents?
Most of the time.
Good. Smart man, 25 years, you're damn right. No, because you have to. I didn't do that. The 1 year I didn't do it, I bought my wife silk sheets, she bought me silk pajamas. Spent the first night dreaming I was falling for 8 solid hours. Make it stop! And then we returned them and switched them out without telling each other. I bought her flannel sheets, she bought me flannel pajamas. I might as well have been wearing Velcro. I'm rolling over, sparks are flying out of my ass. But it's a great form of birth control because by the time you get to the other side of the bed, you're too tired to do shit. I'm going, did we just cuddle? Sorry about the fire. Springtime, everyone's excited? I'm not. No, because I'm a fall person. Everyone says they're a spring person or a fall person. I'm a fall person. And part of it is that string of holidays. I never fully grew up, and those holidays really appealed to me. Like Halloween, I loved Halloween. And I still love Halloween because I love candy, and my kids wouldn't know a good hiding place if it bit them in the ass. Every year it was the same thing. Oh, your underwear drawer? How did I know? I must have some Sherlock Holmes shit going on up here. Love candy. Don't love sugar-free candy. Stay away from that. We learned that the hard way. One year we left our big bowl of candy in a bowl on the dining room table, left the house, came back. Our dog had eaten every last scrap of candy except for a little pile of sugar-free Reese's peanut butter cups. It was like even our dog went, this is bullshit. And thanks for the bit of honey. I love candy. And I have a lot of Christian friends who tell me that I should not celebrate Halloween because Halloween is of the devil. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Snickers Fun Size come directly from God himself. Honestly, they should hand those out at communion. I mean, body of Christ, fine, but you hand me a Snickers Fun Size, we're all going to be setting up chairs in the back of the sanctuary. I've got 2 kids, and they're 30 and 27, and nothing has changed from when they were 10 and 7. One is belligerent and angry at me, and the other one is living in my basement playing video games. I have probably seen that because my son is not planned out. I have a mild form of dyslexia, and it pops up at really bad times. Like I was arguing with my older son once, and we were going back and forth, and he was yelling and yelling and yelling, and I said, I wanted to say, hey, use the inside voice, but instead I said, hey, use the voice inside. And he went, okay. Kill them. Kill them all. Damn, he's tough. He's really tough. I miss when they were younger. I miss when they were just kids. And my friend said, well, of course you miss them because you could control them then. And I said, you've never had kids, have you? It's not about control. You don't control kids. You learn that. You learn that on the first day that you take them somewhere else. Like we were driving along this country road and there was a sign that said free kittens. And my kids are going, dad, 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 dad. I said, what? They said, kitties. I said, we can get a cat anywhere, but they won't be free. Has anyone here ever paid for a cat in their lives? Cats are the rhubarb of the animal world. If you can't find them growing wild in your backyard, you're not looking hard enough. And so I bought a cat, yay. So they got me in that case. Where was all the control in that? Huh? There's no controlling them. You can't spank them anymore because that's a bad thing. You can't. I got a dog. I got a dog. And I learned to swat the dog. I cannot swat my children with like a rolled up newspaper or anything like that. My son was hiding the lunches that I made for him because he didn't want to eat them. He would hide them in his room. And I ended up spanking him with a chicken wrap. Because I found it. It was like, dude, did you just spank me with a chicken wrap? That's amazing. You got anything else in there? How about that bag of chips, Dad? Think that's going to do anything? Bought an invisible fence for my dog. And I don't know if any of you have ever had the invisible fence, but you install it in your yard. The first thing you do is you place flags around your yard, and you assume that your dog is teachable. You take him up to one of the flags and you go, no, no, no. To anyone else, that would mean, stay away from the flags. To my dog, it means, don't pee on the flags. Pee anywhere you want, but don't pee on the flags. And so, I finally got him trained and everything, and turned it on, and it's only got two settings, low and Ted Bundy. And so, you know, I'm a humanist. I don't want to hurt him, so I turn it on to low. I can't keep my dog off the property line anymore. It's like a damn spa out there. He's going, oh, yeah! This is great. I'm not going anywhere. The fence works fine. I'll be inside. Don't worry, I'll finish up. No, I like the quiet portions of my show. It gives me time to ponder the big questions in life. Like, if you're walking by the Braille Institute at night and all the lights are out, does that mean they're working late? But a Jehovah's Witness can't ever get the hang of Ding Dong Ditch. Guys, I think they're coming. What would a person with Tourette's syndrome say if they'd never heard a swear word before? No, I think of the sheltered Amish woman going, we should really get some lemonade out to the men at the butter churn. I meant to say, zipper. That's an Amish swear word. Oh golly, I'll leave you with this. My kids are very sweet, but one of them got very mad at me yesterday, and we're dealing with it, we're working it out, and it reminded me of how much I missed him the first day I dropped him off at kindergarten, because I have to flash on that stuff or I'm gonna kill him. and I remember dropping him off, and it was just as emotional for me, more emotional for me than it was for him. Because, you know, the moment you drop a child into a new environment like that, they change instantly. You're no longer their best friend anymore. And I was all emotional and everything, dropping him off, trying to be the brave one, going, "You have a great day, buddy." "I will, Daddy." "I love you." "I love you too." "I'll pick you up later, okay?" "Okay." Pick him up that afternoon. "How was school, pal?" "Screw you, old man." "I got into school 10 minutes ago. Where were you? Do you realize that I've been waiting here for 10 freaking minutes? Have you been trying to call me all afternoon?" I'm like, "Dude, you've changed." "I have not changed." I said, "Okay, I'm going to reason with you." And he said, "Well, I was waiting for you to show up and then you did." He's talking in frequency so high, I'm going, "I can't understand you." My dog says, he says, "You're being totally unfair about this." And he wants you to turn on the fence. All right, that's my time. Thank you very much. You guys are great.
Joe, thanks Joe for coming down all night. We are going to keep this show going. Our next comedian is a born and bred Minnesotan. She loves to ski, fish, and drink a lot of Schlitz beer, which I didn't know they made anymore. Please welcome Kris Newcomer.
Thank you. I think I'm going to need a lot of Schlitz beer after that one. Thanks, Joe. I'm John. I'm sorry.
Joe.
Joe. That's right. Thank you.
Hey, Phyllis.
Diller is the last name. Thank you. It was lovely to hear someone so good, and I don't know if I aspire to it, but we'll try. So, I have to tell you right now, this is my children's worst nightmare. Me with a microphone. Their second worst nightmare is, I'm going to talk about them. Who here has kids? Ooh, my condolences. Sorry. I have two boys and a girl. And when they were growing up, I'm not sure which was worse, the broken bones or the broken hearts. I think I'll take the bones because I was always deluged in tears when my daughter lost a boyfriend. So one of the things I've learned in all these years, well, first of all, I have to tell you their ages. They are 28, 36, oh, at 34, I missed one in the middle. You never stop being a parent. That's the problem. Kids are kind of like homing pigeons. You know, they come back and roost. Some of you say, yes, they come back and roost. They do not like to do laundry. They always know there's food in the fridge. Like at my house, it has to be frozen pizza, Hot Pockets, and what are those little pizza rolls. And I don't have a microwave in my house, so my son bought one and plugged it in the basement so when he comes home to visit, he can cook for himself. The other thing that they don't like to do is pay rent. So I bet some of you have walked around your house and you hear this funny sound coming out. In my house, it's called moo, because I'm the cash cow. One of these days, you know when you go to the vet, or not the vet, but the, what is it called? The rescue. And you get a dog, and you get a trial period, and oh, this dog's gonna work. And then you take the dog back and you go, you gotta rehome this. I really wish you could do that with kids. Like, you know what, sweetie? You gotta find a new home. I'm not done with this. Who here knows about the Bank of Mom? Or the Bank of Dad? Yes, the Bank of Mom and the Bank of Dad. I kind of wish the government would come in and swoop in and close my Bank of Mom. You know, I also was like, is is your Uber on my credit card? Or, how come when I turn on my Netflix, there are all these little people, and I know none of them? Or my favorite one is, I happen to notice that you ordered McDonald's for dinner last night from DoorDash. And then you ordered Dairy Queen from Uber Eats. Do you not know how to go to the store? I think the best one in my family was my daughter showed up at the lake. And I looked at her leg and I was like, what is that on your thigh? She goes, what's my new tattoo? It's a 50s pinup girl with a cheeseburger, holding a cheeseburger. Like, who the hell would put that? I was like, and I thought, wait a second, did I pay for that? And then I looked at her and I said, you know what? I'm gonna live with you when I'm 80. Payback's the bitch. The other thing, 2 of my kids have dogs, and I'm supposed to treat their dogs like my grandchildren. No, they're like, hey, you're gonna go play at Nana's house today. I'm like, they're dogs. And finally I looked at them and I said, you guys, I really like my grandchildren without fur, please. I'll give you a secret. If you want to talk to your kids, change your Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon Prime account. I will tell you, they will call you 3 hours tops. They're on the phone with you. Just keep doing it. It works a lot. My daughter showed up one day and said, I don't want an adult today. What the hell is adult? I don't want to be an adult today. I'm not adulting today. I was like, you've been an adult for 18 years. How can you just decide not to be an adult? She said, well, I just don't want to do this. I was like, well, so it's really hard being an adult. I know. You're like, excuse me, the weekend does not start on Thursdays. And when you call me and say you have no heat in your house? Well, usually that means you haven't changed your furnace filter. And so maybe try that first before you call the guy. The other thing is that, excuse me, I'm talking so fast I'm losing my breath here, is that the idea that you have to cook dinner every night for the rest of your life. So my kids still call me and they ask me for, do you have my vaccine records when I was 3 years old? Do you have my birth certificate? Or my son was like, can I have some bail money? He was a sophomore in college. He called me up and he goes, yeah, I need some bail money. He's like, okay, what happened? He goes, well, I was outside the bar and this policeman was there and I kind of threw up on his shoes and I'm going to spend the night in the Reno jail, by the way, the Reno jail. And I was like, good for you, not my problem, call me in the morning. So one of these days, I think my kids will be rehomed. They might have all the documents they need to be an adult. And I hope they know how to cook dinner 2 nights a week at least. And you know what? I will be very happy. The bank of mom will be closed. Thank you.
All right. How you guys doing so far? You having fun? I have a couple more comments for you. Our next comedian is from Apple Valley. She has blue ribbons in knitting, quilting, and baking. Please welcome Melissa Dell. Melissa.
Some of you over here may know me by something other than Melissa, and that would be the hair. Yes. So I will explain that later. Guy right there, my husband, otherwise known as Hubster. He's actually started to get mail to Hubster. So we dated when we were young. He was in the military. I was living here. He comes home for his sister's wedding. I think it's going to be sweet. It's going to be so romantic. I helped her plan the wedding. He comes home, dumps me at her wedding. and married someone else. He did realize the error of his ways, came back like we talked about earlier. We've been married about 25 years. And I get a lot of stories out of this. I get a lot of laughs. I get a lot of jewelry. So we didn't have kids, but we had a foreign exchange student come over from India. His name was Anshul, and took him to a family thing, and one of his sisters said, "Oh, you're a dot, not feather." I was like, seriously, I can't believe you said that to him. He comes over and goes, "What does that mean?" I said, "Well, there's Indians, and then American Indians." Oh. Later on, he sees some paperwork and some pictures, and he goes, "Is that your family?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, that's great. I'm a dot, not feather, and you're a feather, not dot." So that's the kind of sense of humor our family has. He had to learn sarcasm just to survive. So the hair goddess thing, I went to beauty school, and they should have a reality show, Perms Gone Wrong. Woman comes in, wants me to perm her hair, it feels sort of weird, color's sort of weird. Did you color it? No. Did you tint it? No. Did you dye it? I thought of every word I could think of. Nope. I call my teacher over and he goes, "Make her sign a release, perm it. She's gonna go somewhere else anyway, you might as well do it." Okay. Perm, put her in the dryer, take it back, lay her down in the sink, turn the water on, and as the water hits the perm rods, her hair breaks off in my perm rods. So her hair that was this long is now this long. I'm looking down into the sink. She can hear the perm rods falling out. And I think I'm gonna throw up on her. I'm just like, "Ah." She looks at me, she goes, "How bad is it?" "Well, it's not good." There's a girl next to me and I'm like, "Go get Jimmy." That was our teacher. She's like, "I'm with a client." "Go get Jimmy." She's like, "I'm busy." I'm like, "Go get Jimmy." She turns around, "Oh shit!" and runs. Jimmy saunters back in because he knew what was gonna happen. Looks at her, fling, 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 flicks the last 3 off. He goes, "Neutralize it, finish it, get her out of here." I'm just like, oh my God. Girl next to me wraps a perm. Took her forever. Puts her into the dryer, puts a bag on her head, walks away, goes back to check on her, lifts up the dryer, looks at her, and runs screaming out of the building. We found out, not just out of our classroom, out of the building. She never came back. So ever-present Jimmy goes over, looks at it. He said, "Are you done with your client?" "Yes, I am." "Come here. Put some gloves on and come here." Okay. I'm like, "Why am I gloves for a perm?" I walk over, he lifts up the hood again, and I was like, He's like, "I need you to finish this." "Oh, no." He's like, "Yeah, because if you refuse to do a client, you get sent home and get no credit for the day." Trying really hard not to swear. The F word is my favorite word, and I know my friends over here are going, "Is that really her?" She's not swearing. So I look at this bag on her head, and it is full of like 1 billion lice. Oh. Chemicals, heat, they're running around inside this little baggie like they're on fire. I know you can hear them squeaking. So I take the bag off, put it in the garbage, we check the perm. She figures out what's wrong and starts to cry. "My kids, I thought they had lice, but I thought I got it." I'm like, "Oh my God, it's okay." It happens all the time. It does. I just can't believe she didn't spy one of these 1 billion lice when she was wrapping her perm. But whatever. So I finish her perm. She cries the whole time. She leaves, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'm not meant to do this. I never did another perm again. So then I decided to take dance lessons. It sounded like fun. I had a friend who was a dance teacher, and I started doing hair on little local girls at little local competitions. And they said, "We're going to go to Texas to this big comp. You should go." "No. We'll pay your way." "When do we leave?" I'm ready. So I started going to these competitions and doing hair, and then I started doing more and more and more. And I was traveling all over the United States. I was traveling all over Europe. All those dancers you see on TV, I did their hair, I did their students' hair, and they were in my wedding. All of them. We'll see them on TV, and my husband's like, I know them. The people that works with her are like, no, you don't. Yes, I do. Here's the pictures. So I travel through hair, and I'm doing the Americans. We're going to Europe. Some Europeans come to me, and they can't speak English, so I get this. Sometimes a picture. They'll show me their dress. It's like, okay, I can figure this out. And when you do someone's hair, and they win a world championship, I'm telling you, you're like, yes, I am the fucking hair goddess. Yes, I am. So, then there are people that think, I'm not going to pay anyone to do my hair. I can do it myself. Knock yourself out, sister. Go right ahead. Girl had long, kind of thin blonde hair, did it herself. She's dancing. So between the sweat and the heat and the fact that she's moving around, her hair starts to just kind of crumble, and she starts to leave a trail behind her of cotton balls.
Oh no.
She had stuffed her hair with cotton balls. It didn't work out very well. Then there would be men, one in particular, Michi, did his own hair. I don't need you to do my hair, I can do it myself. He was a little thin, a little balding, used the colored hairspray, which does work. If you have the secret to it, he did not. I did. He goes out, he's dancing, he's all dramatic, and he's so manly, till he starts to sweat. And his sweat down his face, down his ears, down his neck, and into his white shirt was black. His partner was not happy. Both of these dancers found me the next day. Do you have time to do my hair? Maybe. So this year for Valentine's Day, my husband comes home with roses. I'm like, oh, nice. Roses, that's great. He goes, so I was thinking we should join a gun range. What does that have to do with roses? It's like, well, I think we should join a gun range. Oh, we don't have any handguns. Well, I'll buy you one. I don't think I want one. Well, no, I'll get you one. I think you could really like it. Can we try it out and see if we like it? No, let's just join. Let's just join and I'll get you a gun. Okay. So we go shopping for guns. I watch too much crime television, so the only guns I wanted to look at were Glocks. That's what Olivia Benson uses. That's what all the cool cops use on TV, a Glock. Glocks are big and heavy, and I don't like them. So I picked a little gun. So we go to the range. He and I share a lane together. We're shooting. Next time we go, I'm shooting in a lane here. He's shooting in a lane over there. The next time, I'm shooting by myself. He's sitting out there waiting because the guys are giving him so much shit because I'm so much better than he is. So this morning at 8:30, I said to him, did you ever, in your wildest dreams, picture us, up early on a Sunday morning, because I don't do early mornings for anyone, well, except myself. And I said, up this early, going to the range for the Range Madness tournament that you did not qualify for, and I did. He just looked at me, he's like, I'm gonna go feed the dogs. So we have a cabin, so when we had this foreign exchange student, we took him out to the cabin, took him, tried to take him to experience things. We'd pick him up in Morris where he went to college, and we're driving to the cabin, and you see those signs. Honey, wild rice moccasins. You get up there, classic, A-frame gift shop. We go in, looking around, and I hear him laugh. He comes around the corner. My short little brown son has on a full-on feather headdress. And he walks over and he goes, look, Mom, feather, not dot. The three of us laughed till we cried. Everybody else there was like, oh my God, they know what we're saying about that. So that's kind of my life. I retired from doing ballroom hair. I've done some other things and, won some ribbons. I can't seem to decide what I want to do. I've had like 36 jobs. And some of them last like, well, let's see, caribou, 5 days. First day. I'm a tea drinker, by the way. First day. Well, we're going to have coffee talk. Ooh, okay. You have to try all the coffees. All right, I tried the first one. I'm like, ugh. He's like, well, you have to tell us what it tastes like. I said, it tastes like an ashtray. My manager said, you have to say something nice. It tastes like a really expensive ashtray. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I was in a shooting competition this morning, and it was really fun. Everybody was really nice. I really enjoyed myself. He was, sitting over there watching me, sort of. And so it's been an exciting day, I will say that. So I want to say that one of the reasons I chose to do this was to honor a friend of mine of 40 years, the late Louis Anderson. He and I were friends, and he used to tell me that he thought I was funny. And so at the range today, I walked in, one of the guys behind the counter says, hey, tell me a joke that you're going to say tonight. I'm like, oh my God. These are stories, I can't tell a story. And I was like, I turned around and there were probably 10 men there at the desk waiting to sign in. And I said, well, Louis Anderson and I, we're hanging out. He said to me one day, we look like we could be related. I said, I know. Blonde hair, round face, big boobs. Louis used it in a show. These guys died laughing. So on that note, thank you so much for coming. And by the way, I won the tournament.
One more comedian. Sir, you're the husband, right? You're not carrying, are you? I just want to... I know some comedians die up here, but I don't really want to, Anyway, our last comedian of the night comes from Crystal, Minnesota. You can see him around the corner. He's the bar manager at the Tequila Butcher. Please welcome Brandon Johnson. Thanks, Kris. How y'all doing?
Good.
Wow, this is fantastic. A lot of lovely couples out here tonight and everything. That's beautiful. Unfortunately, actually, I am a child of divorce. And when you're a child of divorce, forces you to grow up really fast. Woo, yeah, woo. Oh, that was a good part. But when you're a child of divorce, it forces you to kind of grow up really fast. And when I was 28 years old, my parents divorced. It really came hard for me to grow up right there. No, I mean, my dad used to say all the time, he's a late bloomer. He's a late bloomer because, my siblings, they turned 18, they're out of the house right away. My mom moved out before I did, so that's just kind of how things go. But I stuck around, because my dad, he was like my best friend. I don't know why I said was. He's still here. Still is my best friend. I was a socially awkward kid, as you can probably see right now. I'm shaking. But anyway, so he had this big thing where he kind of broke me. He used to tell me all the time, you can be whatever you want to be. Don't tell your kids that. That's nonsense. Absolutely not. Go get a real job. They're hiring at Best Buy right now, I promise. But he would tell me that all the time. He always beat that in my head. He made sure that my cousins, my aunts and uncles all told that to me all the time. I have very vivid memories of going to friends' houses and listening to their dads yell at us down the hall. You are not going to amount to shit. All of them are highly successful right now. First 3 years of my 30s, I slept on a blow-up mattress with a hole in it. For those of you who are following, that means I slept on the floor. Doing great. But so my buddy Brian, who's that friend that I'm talking about, his dad yelling at him like that. We get together every once in a while, have a beer, talk about our feelings, modern men. And he sits there and he tells me all the time, he's like, you're crazy, man. Your dad was great. I wish my dad would just hug me and tell me he was proud of me. I'm like, Brian, I would give back like 2 or 3 of those hugs
just to be able to, not be $20 short on my cell phone bill every month. I mean, every month. That's not statistically possible. I figured out a way to do it every single month. It's like, you're crazy, man. I might be. I'm not saying the grass is greener on the other side. I just know it comes with health insurance. But anyway, but I got a great dad. I mean, he's one of these caring, loving, like always going to tell you what's best for you kind of dads. And so the problem with telling your kids they can do whatever they want to be and making the family do it too, the family has an expiration date for that. They don't tell you what that date is. It's not on a wrap or anything. It just happens out of the blue. So I'd gone home for Thanksgiving. Hadn't seen him for a while, and my uncle, mind you, this uncle is not like by blood. He's just this guy that's been following my dad my entire life. I have no clue who he is. But he comes out and he looks at me, he's like, "Hey, nephew, how we doing, Playboy?" I was like, all right. But, I love him. I mean, he's always been there. Like, "I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. What are you up to?" I was like, "I don't know, man. I'm trying this comedy thing." He's like, "All right, man. Yeah, do whatever you want to do. Hey, while I got you here, I'm wondering, think you could spot me $20? I got the cell phone bill, man." Like, "Yeah, man, mine's not for like 2 weeks. I think I got you." Anyway, so we had a good time. Come back for Christmas. Same uncle stops me right when I get in the house and everything like that. "Hey, nephew, how we doing? Big living, what we up to?" Like, "Man, I'm just doing that comedy thing I was telling you about." "Comedy, huh? Whew. This boy was serious about that comedy nonsense." Like, "What?" Aunt's in the kitchen. You're like, "Oh, that boy had so much potential too. Oh, no. I'm hot and everything." He's like, "All right, I'm going to stop you right there. Like, I don't got any money for you, just so I'm telling you right off the bat." I was like, "I didn't ask you for any money. You came in here, started talking to me about this comedy nonsense. I know the next thing out of your mouth is to borrow money. Uncle don't got a Playboy." Walked in the kitchen, everything like that. My mom pops her head out of the kitchen. My mom, who, granted, comes to every single holiday. That is another story, much longer for me and my therapist when that health insurance kicks in. Anyway, she sticks her head out. She's like, "I told you, life isn't about being unicorns and like rainbows and all that stuff. You're going to have to grow up eventually. They're hiring down at Best Buy." I'm mad. I am so mad. I mean, I haven't been this mad since they killed the Green Ranger, and I'm just like, man, what's going on right now? Dad comes out. I was like, "No, before you even get here, you broke me. You made me weak. Like, all this love and praise and telling me I could be whatever I wanted to be. Well, now, son, nobody told you follow your dreams was going to be easy, but that stuff, that nonsense, stop doing that." Like, I'm not trying to hear that right now. Just tell me I'm messing up. I need to hear it. Like, I'm not going to do that. I was like, "Whoa, I'm not going to do that. That's not how I sound." I was like, "First of all, you and I sound the exact same. So any impression I do of you, that's how you sound." Secondly, let's not skate over the problem here. You believe in me too much. I need you to stop believing me. How many successful people had everybody in their corner? None of them. No, that's not how this works. You have a PhD in physics. Everybody in South Carolina said you were going to fail and be back the next day. Like, just once. It's like, I really just need one person who's very important in my life to tell me I'm going to fail. And it comes down to you or my lady. And if she stops believing me, she's going to take half of the nothing I own. And you're a physicist. You know nothing's nothing. We can only assume how terrible half of nothing is. You're going to have to step up. You're not going to do that, son. You know what? You're just selfish, Dad. Just selfish. So regardless of your praise and your love and all the financial backing you continue to give me, I'm going to make this dream happen without you. Like, all right. You go out and do that. I'm going to do that. And I'm proud of you. Stop saying that nonsense, man. Like, so nowadays, like, if you ever hear one of our phone calls, it's just this awkward, like, tense, like, kind of yelling, half yelling at each other about how much we love and care about one another. It's the weirdest thing ever. It calls me up. "Hey, son, just checking in, seeing how you're doing." "I'm doing fine. How you doing?" "I'm good. Just calling to tell you I love you." "I love you too." You're like, "You working on those dreams?" "Of course I'm working on those dreams." "How are you doing? You getting enough water, enough sleep, some exercise? Because when I make this dream happen and prove you right, I need you front and center." Like, "Yeah, I'll be right there. And anything you need, son, I mean anything. You know I got you." "Of course you do, because that's the kind of man you are." Well, I'm going to get out of here. I love you. I love you too. Hold up. Seriously, Pop, 1 second. You see, I got this cell phone bill. Just wonder if I could hold $20. Thanks, everybody.
Good job, everybody. Thank you. Did you guys have fun tonight? Yeah. Guys did awesome, didn't they? I give them all an A+. Good job, guys. Thank you all for coming. Please enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you very much. Good night.